I'm a single mom to Carly Joy, so this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I will admit that when Carly Joy was born, it was a whirlwind. I did not know she had Turner syndrome until she was delivered. Her pregnancy was smooth sailing. I really didn't know I was pregnant until I was about 4 months along. Then when she was delivered, things start getting complicated. They lost her heartbeat. When they broke my water, there was meconium. Things just really start going downhill really fast during delivery. When she was delivered, she didn't cry. My mom was present during delivery. She had a nursing background. Of course, right away she noticed the really swollen feet, the puffy hands, the no crying, and they quickly took her right away from me. I did not even get to hear her. Right then and there, they knew something was wrong with her, and my mom, from her professional background, assumed right away it was Down syndrome. Of course, at that time, being a young mom, at that time I was 22, you don't know what to expect but panic. I got to see her later that evening. They were flying a doctor in from Philadelphia because they found something was wrong with her heart. They needed to do genetic testing, which we all know that takes weeks to get the results back, but in the meantime, they were making it out to be the very worst scenario, that don't be surprised if she doesn't make it, expect the worst. I was getting brochures of every kind with just the worst possible situations. When it was supposed to be the most happiest time of my life, I became in denial that my child, who I loved very much, without a doubt, I was going to raise no matter what was put in front of me or what obstacles we had. We were going to get it through it together. But it became a somber moment. I'm not going to lie, for the first year and a half of my life, I kind of was in denial that anything was wrong with my daughter. Yes, we had multiple doctor's appointments. She couldn't eat proper. She wasn't hitting milestones and this and that. And I loved her unconditionally. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It just wasn't accepted when I got the results that she had Turner syndrome and that we were going to have obstacles on my life. I think I kind of put blinders on, and that my daughter was just my daughter. So when we went to a doctor's appointment and I was told this, she is going to do this, not going to do this, and she has this, and we need to be a referral to see this doctor and that. Finally, at the age of 3, accepted this is our life, and you know what? It's time to prove the doctors wrong and take a stance. And you know what? Those brochures they threw at me in the doctor's office, she will not and cannot, are going to be thrown out the window, and it's time to do something about this. I had a lot of support at that time from my mom telling me that something needs to be done. There has to be more people in your situation. Start doing some research. Get out there. In 2013, I start going on the Facebook community and reaching out to groups, connecting to people. And I saw some people that did the local proclamation, February to be Turner Syndrome Awareness Month, but it was through their local community. So I'm like, oh, that looks fun. That looks good. That's a good way to start. I Googled everything. I Googled every legislative in my state of Pennsylvania. I went from my local hometown to everyone. I not only Googled them, but I Googled their secretaries. So I sat down and I spilt my heart out. I wrote how they told me my daughter was not going to be anything. I told them how scared I was, how when I go to a hospital, I have doctors that look at me and say, what does your daughter have? Hold on, let me Google that. That is my number one pet peeve, when you go someplace and you have a medical professional look at you and say, wait, what does she have? She has Turner syndrome. Our medical professionals do not have enough medical knowledge or experience to help us. That's number one. We need more medical help and awareness in the medical standpoint. So I wrote that. I poured my heart out. I poured about our story, and I put in what needs to be done. And I sent it to everybody. And I asked them, please take the time, take 5 minutes and just read this. And I gave it about a week. And then I start calling and I sent an email. Did you receive that? Could you take time to read it, please? I then got some responses that said, sorry, we have nothing to do with this. It's not in our jurisdiction. We don't feel we could help you. I'm sorry. Why don't you reach out to this person? So I said I thanked them for their time, and I sent my emails to more people. And I got local proclamations from our mayor and our local government, but to me that wasn't enough. I was just getting a piece of paper that they had saved on their computer, which had no meaning to them. They were just trying to appease me. And then one day I received a phone call from our local senator, Senator John Blake, secretary, who asked me to come in because my story hit him, and he wanted to meet Carly Joy, and he wanted to speak to me face to face. And that's when it got real. I'm like, wow, someone actually wants to help. At that point, Senator Blake has been one of our closest friends and one of our closest advocates in the state of Pennsylvania for Turner syndrome. It took about a year. It took a year of going back and forth. And then finally, after meeting with Senator Blake and his secretary, and by the time it was passed, it took about a good year. Since 2014, it continues to pass the bill at the state of Harrisburg. Every year it hits the floor continuously. 2018 was huge for me and Carly Joy and my family. My mom passed away unexpectedly, unfortunately, and in 2018, he invited us down to Harrisburg, where they passed it, and they spoke about Carly Joy, and we actually got to see how it gets voted on to get passed. And it's the most amazing accomplishment to know that you can make a difference. You could have no experience, but pour your heart out and be passionate about something and make a difference. So please don't be scared. You may get tons of turn downs and be told we can't help you. But with perseverance, anything is possible. And still to this day, I remember in 2014 while working, I received Facebook messages from Turner syndrome women from Pittsburgh because Senator Blake was interviewed over the radio talking about Turner syndrome awareness and how there needs to be more awareness and people need to get together and get medical attention. He truly has been a godsend to Pennsylvania and helping us raise awareness. I truly beg you, ladies, to get on your internet, reach out, search your local resources, and start reaching out to them. You may be surprised that someone will listen to you and run with you and help you with your story. I really did not know where to start, but I started with my heart and I followed it all the way through the end, and it's the most rewarding experience ever. And you can make a change, because I did.